Kay Sprinkel Grace transforms lives. As a mentor, philanthropist, leader, and friend, Kay inspires people and organizations to achieve. She has worked with countless nonprofit leaders and organizations in the U.S. and globally to help them transform their thinking and strategies and increase their impact in their communities. As the founder and principal of Transforming Philanthropy, Kay works tirelessly to bring new perspective and freshness to ethical nonprofit planning and management. As an early, vigorous learner, Kay pursued her education relentlessly.
I loved school. I always did very well in school. I skipped a grade in school. I was so far ahead that they didn't know what to do with me, so they just pushed me ahead a grade. And I graduated from high school when I was 16. I graduated from Stanford when I was 20.
This would become the foundation in which she would build her career in the field of philanthropy.
My mother really was an amazing person, very flexible, very adaptable, and from the time they were first married, they moved around a lot. But as I look back on it, I think it helped me be a more adaptable, flexible person. And the really wonderful thing was that when I got to Stanford, I had friends that I had known in Long Beach and Ventura and Sacramento, and I had all these friends from everywhere that I'd lived.
Kay became a two-time alumnus of Stanford University, receiving her BA in Communications, Journalism, and her MA in Education.
When I graduated from Stanford in journalism, I have a very good friend, still a very close friend, and the two of us were offered jobs with the then Palo Alto Times, but it was in the society section. It was writing about women's events. There was no such thing as going on the news desk. So I chose instead to go to Sunset Magazine because at least there I was writing about travel and cooking and other things, but it was a very limited horizon.
As much as Kay enjoyed working in the field of education and journalism, after the passing of Proposition 13, officially titled The People's Initiative to Limit Property Taxation, she decided to change her focus to the nonprofit sector.
After a short career in journalism, I became a teacher and then a public schools administrator. And all the while I was volunteering mostly for my university, mostly for Stanford. And I loved it. I loved the idea of brokering dreams, of hearing people talk about the aspirations they had and thinking of projects that I could connect them with that would help them realize their dreams.
Kay was determined to continue to change the participation and impact women had in areas of education, business, journalism, and philanthropy. She served as the first woman volunteer chair of the Stanford Fund and as national volunteer chair of the Keystone Program for Stanford's $1.1 billion centennial campaign in the late 80s and early 90s.
I think that the most meaningful accomplishments are not that I look back on and say, oh, well, that was a day or that was an event or a book or whatever. What for me has meaning and really gives me the satisfaction is the feedback I get from people who read my books, the feedback I get from people who attend sessions, the feedback I get from people I work with, particularly in Eastern Europe right now, who constantly ask me questions and then say how helpful it was. And that I've found is a steadier supplier of continuing to feel good about what I do than any kind of singular achievement.
Throughout her long-standing work with nonprofits, Kay has continued to inspire people from all over the globe. Traveling and working extensively in the Americas and Europe, she still has a strong home base to the women who in turn have influenced her.
I think the biggest change that I've seen, of course, in my lifetime is the speed at which we are expected to do things. And I think that this is probably one of the danger points in our society, is that we are moving very, very quickly. And whether it's email or Twitter or all these things that all of us now are constantly doing, I worry that we're not taking time to reflect. and that we are not savoring, and that we should not wait until the end of our lives.
Kay's dedication and passion for brokering dreams has surely left a legacy like ripples in a pond for those of us to follow.
We're living in very fortunate times, and it is unfortunate that there's been a lot of focus recently on the things that are not so steady and good in our society. And I think that we really need always to return to that place of abundance and just know that we live in the most abundant society that's ever existed on the planet, and that there are opportunities for everybody to realize that.